Donald Trump has just landed in London, and he's about to meet with the most unpopular British Prime Minister in living memory. What happens behind those closed doors could shatter Keir Starmer's political career for good. Air Force One touched down at a heavily guarded airport, but this isn't your run-of-the-mill diplomatic handshake. Trump is arriving at the height of his power, while Starmer is barely hanging on. The mainstream press won't show you what's really happening, but you're about to see one of the most consequential political encounters in decades. Let's dig into the story the establishment is trying to bury. Starmer's numbers at home are collapsing. His popularity is in freefall, his party is split, and his leadership is openly being questioned. And now he's walking straight into a meeting with Donald Trump, a man who, just weeks ago, publicly ridiculed Britain's speech restrictions and slammed UK leadership. If you want the raw truth that the media refuses to cover, make sure you're subscribed, because this could erupt at any moment. Look at the images of Trump arriving. He and Melania step off Air Force One with complete confidence. The handshake with British officials? Firm, commanding, unmistakably in control. Now compare that to the recent footage of Starmer fumbling through press conferences, facing boos from crowds, and barely holding himself together. The contrast couldn't be clearer. The brutal reality? Starmer is politically drowning. Farmers are filling the streets in protest against his inheritance tax hikes. Businesses are relocating after his disastrous budget policies. And even within labor, whispers of a leadership challenge grow louder by the day. This week alone, one of his own MPs questioned his handling of the economy. It's not just critics, it's his own allies quietly turning away. Yet here's the strange twist. On the world stage, Starmer has actually performed better than at home. Remember back in February, when Zelensky's Washington visit went off the rails? Starmer jumped in and hosted a London summit the very next day, earning praise from European leaders. Ironically, foreign governments show him more respect than the voters who put him in office. That's anything but normal for a British Prime Minister. Now think about the dynamic. Trump enters this meeting with nearly every card in his hand. Fresh off a stunning electoral victory, in control of Congress, presiding over a surging U.S. economy, and already vocal about his distaste for what Britain has become. Just 2 weeks ago, he said flat out that the UK is in decline when it comes to free speech. His vice president, J.D. Vance, even testified to Congress about how Britain's online laws hurt Americans. And there's a subplot that nobody in the media wants to talk about. The UK's ambassador to Washington, one of the most important people in arranging this visit, was abruptly removed weeks ago. Peter Mandylon was supposed to coordinate the details. Instead, he's gone, replaced temporarily, and insiders say Trump personally demanded answers as to why. That's not coincidence, that's strategy. Trump is playing chess, and Starmer is already on the defensive. Watch the footage of Marine One preparing to lift Trump into central London. Multiple helicopters, decoy aircraft, and the highest security level since the wave of recent assassination attempts that rattled world politics. But here's the irony, the biggest danger for Starmer isn't physical at all. It's political. One wrong phrase, one awkward photo, one bad exchange and his premiership could implode. Now let's talk psychology. People who've met Trump in private all say the same thing: he's completely different from his public persona. In person, he's charismatic, attentive, remembers small details, and makes people feel valued. Starmer, on the other hand, has a reputation for being stiff, awkward, and disconnected even with his own MPs. This difference in presence and personality could make or break the meeting. And this isn't just about political careers. This affects you. If Trump takes a hard line on trade, British families could feel the pain instantly. Higher prices on imports, from cars to smartphones to groceries. Entire sectors, like finance, could take a hit if Trump decides to pressure Britain's banking industry. Your mortgage, your job security, the cost of your weekly shop, everything could be influenced by what's decided in the next 48 hours. The most explosive fault line? Free speech. Trump's administration is already signaling zero tolerance for what they see as UK censorship affecting American platforms and citizens. And what's Starmer's signature policy? Expanding hate speech laws, policing online content, prosecuting social media users. These are not minor differences, they're fundamental clashes of ideology. This could erupt into an international row that humiliates Britain globally. Starmer's nightmare is simple: if he stands his ground on online laws, he pleases his progressive base but risks wrecking relations with America and sinking the economy. If he bends to Trump, he looks weak and unprincipled, exactly the image that already haunts him. It's a lose-lose trap, and the timing couldn't be worse. Inside Labour, the knives are already out. MPs see the collapsing polls, the angry crowds, the rumbling discontent. Quiet conversations about replacing him are already happening. If this meeting spirals into disaster, it could be the trigger for a leadership coup that ends his premiership. Watch this moment carefully: Trump boarding Marine One, flying directly into what could be the most pivotal meeting of both their careers. In 20 minutes, they'll face each other across the same table. Every handshake, every glance, every phrase will be dissected globally. Remember Theresa May? Just holding Trump's hand once became the defining image of her visit. One awkward slip now could be the picture that defines Starmer's entire legacy. And think about the contrast. Trump's first state visit to Britain was under Theresa May. Whatever her flaws, she had stability and support in Parliament. Now, Trump meets a leader whose own cabinet leaks against him, whose base is crumbling, and whose approval has fallen to levels that usually spark a leadership challenge. Let's talk about hard numbers. Britain trades over £200 billion annually with the US. Over 1 million UK jobs depend on American firms. If Trump decides to push hard, renegotiate terms, or squeeze British industries, the economic fallout could dwarf the inflation crisis. Starmer desperately needs a win to shore up his fragile position, but he's walking into the negotiation as the weaker party. So the next 48 hours? Expect raw political theater. Will Trump throw Starmer a lifeline with public praise? Will the two clash on trade and speech, leaving Britain embarrassed? Will Trump simply dismiss the UK as irrelevant? Or will Starmer finally rise to the occasion, showing strength that even his critics haven't seen before? Here's what you need to watch. Their body language. Does Starmer project confidence or fear? Trump's public statements. Any criticism could crush Starmer's already shaky image. The press conferences. Will there be solid agreements, or vague promises masking failure? And most importantly, do the British media shield Starmer, or do they expose the cracks? This entire situation reveals the deep weakness in British politics today. A prime minister so unpopular at home that his survival hinges on whether a foreign president approves of him. A government so fragile it negotiates from weakness, not strength. A leader whose legitimacy is derived from international optics, not domestic support. That's not leadership, that's desperation dressed up as diplomacy. As Marine One glides over London's skyline, carrying Trump toward his first face-to-face with Britain's most embattled leader in decades, the magnitude of this moment is undeniable. This isn't just another photo op, it's a turning point that could redefine both men's careers and alter Britain's political future. For Trump, the mission is clear: showcase US dominance, push America's interests, and exploit Britain's vulnerability. He thrives in moments where he can set the terms, and Britain's internal crisis is his perfect opportunity. For Starmer, the stakes are existential. Months of unrest, falling approval, rebellion whispers, and mounting pressure all converge here. This isn't just foreign policy, it's about whether he survives as prime minister. One slip could mean the end of his leadership within days. So the burning question: does Starmer defy expectations, stand his ground, and prove himself to both Britain and America? Or does Trump dominate, exposing Starmer as weak, and hand Britain a political humiliation for the ages? Could this spark a full-blown Labour leadership battle? Or, against all odds, could they forge an agreement that stabilizes the special relationship? This is the showdown the world is about to witness. And I want to hear from you. What do you think happens when Trump and Starmer sit down together? Is this the moment Starmer finally shows backbone, or is it the disaster that finishes him off? Will he even survive the next 48 hours as Prime Minister? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth political commentary, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of power and politics. Thanks for watching.